Hello and welcome to your virtual presentation. My name is Jess and I'm a career advisor with Mesa Community College, and I'm so excited to be able to share this information with you all today, virtually. So let's go ahead and get started. Moving my screen out of the way, we can see that today's presentation is about social media and the benefits it has to your professional networking. I know that a few of my students have expressed that they would prefer to have no online presence at all. And I'm just here to talk about the benefits that it can have to have a social media presence, especially in the ever-evolving job market. So in order to speak to that, I grabbed a few statistics. According to Career Builder, in 2018, 70% of employers use social networking sites to research and screen job candidates. I can see from the viewpoint of an employer that being able to do a quick search on a social media website, including LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and being able to grab a bunch of information in a very quick and efficient manner can be very beneficial, especially if employers are considering large pools of applicants for one position. So employers will use social networking sites because it's just so much information that they can get within a matter of minutes when not even having to reach out to you first. And to go along with that, 41% of hiring managers won't interview a candidate if they cannot find them online. And I understand that that seems pretty dramatic, but if you are looking at it from the viewpoint of an employer, again, who has large pools of applicants applying for one position and they need to hire someone as soon as possible, sometimes it's easier for them to look on the social media sites, look on their LinkedIn, to really determine if they should go on to the next level of consideration for that position. So having no online presence might be easier for the employer to just kind of go with the online presence that they were able to find. So an employer being able to see certain social media sites versus not seeing them at all allows them to create a good impression of an applicant as opposed to no impression at all. So that good impression may be the one that is putting you out of the running, because then those good impressions that they were able to acquire from those social media profiles will then put those profiles into the next level of consideration for that job position. So in the case of applying online, having your information and having a resume online can be really beneficial to you, and that's what social media allows you to do. So when we think about the different social media functions and the different social media sites that you can use, we know that Facebook is very popular, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram. They all have their own different types of uses, and you could really utilize them to your benefit if you are in your job search. So for Facebook, Facebook we know is a central hub for brand news. Users can create a brand page to share pictures, promos, status updates, and events. So this is where you as a brand, as your personal professional brand, you can create an image. You can create promos if you are promoting a business, these status updates. So as an employer, they may be looking at your Facebook updates just to determine the type of employee you might be, the type of person that you might be working for their company, and it offers an easy way to engage with users and comment on activity or updates. So being able to comment on not only just typical videos that are always posted on Facebook, but like commenting on certain companies that you may want to follow. Most companies nowadays will have their own Facebook page, so being active with them can give you a certain connection. Same thing with LinkedIn, but LinkedIn just happens to be the more professional network. So very similarly, you can connect with individuals, but it is more so the platform to connect with individuals professionally. So the goal of LinkedIn is much more clear when it comes to professional networking. So I always highly recommend LinkedIn profiles, especially for students or community members who are going into business, who are going into marketing, just because having those connections can really give you that into the company, and it also showcases your marketing abilities. So social media marketing has become huge in the world of advertising, so showcasing your abilities to advertise with social media can be huge for you in your field. So I know that when it comes to networking and connecting with top industry influencers, LinkedIn really allows you to start a conversation with different companies. So if you, as an engineer, really wanted to work for Intel, something that you could do is you could send a message to the recruiter for Intel, specifically to Intel, expressing your interest in the company, what you have to offer the company, and how you would like to hopefully hear back from them soon. So you could say that you are interested in them while also having your resume attached, or having said that you already applied for a position and you would just like them to keep an eye out for your application. LinkedIn is just a world of possibilities to reach out to companies in a way that you weren't necessarily able to do before LinkedIn profiles. Twitter and Instagram aren't necessarily used as professional networking platforms, but they can be, depending on what you are trying to advertise. So I know that Instagram can be very popular for certain brands and products, because then you can post pictures, and pictures are just perfect for advertisements because they're already eye-catching. And it also can allow you to, again, engage with top industry influencers. So depending on whatever field of interest you're in, you can follow those pages and interact with them. And then Twitter allows users to send character updates, and Twitter is special just because Twitter is probably the fastest way to engage with followers and influencers in real time. So the idea of Twitter is that it's very quick, and it's you're able to almost have a conversation, a very public conversation with the top industry influencer or the employer or the recruiter very quickly. So these are the different social medias and their functions, and if you have any questions on creating your profiles on them or how to make your profiles very professional, please reach out to us in Career Services, and we'd love to offer that help to you. Alright, so continuing on, one of my personal favorite apps when it comes to professional networking is Shaper. Shaper is a professional networking app. It uses an algorithm to suggest professionals with matching interests and similar professional goals. So I usually compare Shaper to it's basically the Tinder of networking. It allows you to swipe left and right with individuals, but with a goal of professional networking. So it's the easiest way to build meaningful professional relationships. So you swipe for about 2 minutes a day if you like to meet your next business partner, discover new career opportunities, and meet helpful new friends in your city. So when I create my profile, I create interests in, so instead of photography, I would put nonprofit work. And then I could put maybe business or business management. And then having these values will match with values very similar to mine. And then I could put goals here. So as opposed to find a job, I could do find an internship, find a volunteer opportunity, find a mentor even. And then you can put your little description in here along with your picture. I will say that for your social media, it's very important to have a profile picture to give people the idea of who you are. A picture that is professional is the best way to go. A picture is better than no picture. No picture creates like a level of mystery, and it doesn't really allow the viewer to trust who you are. So validating your profile with a picture is the best way to go. So a little story, when I downloaded Shaper, I was able to connect with someone who owned a nonprofit who supplied eyeglasses to low-income families, and since I was working at a high school at the time, I was able to connect him with the high school, and we were able to provide eyeglasses to a bunch of our students who couldn't afford their eyeglasses. So it's amazing to see how just a couple of swipes a day can open up a world of opportunities for not just you, but the people around you who may be in need. So I would highly recommend Shaper. Continuing on, when you use social media platforms and you're creating these connections, a lot of these connections may send you a link to schedule a meeting with them. So some of them will invite you to speak over the phone, video chat, or they may even meet up for a cup of coffee if they're in your area. So a message may look very similar to this. Hi, we should schedule a call to continue this conversation over the phone. Please click schedule a meeting, and then you can schedule a meeting that works best for you. Some of these meeting schedule platforms could be Calendly, Doodle, HubSpot, Google Calendar. Those are very useful sites that people will tend to use. I know that Career Services is working to utilize Google Calendar for our appointments, so that's something to look out for. And then I'm going to show us a video for the benefits of LinkedIn and what it has for students, community members, just basically the world of opportunities that are available through not only LinkedIn, but different social media platforms. So let's get started.
If you're watching this, chances are good you want to get a job. You want to go from student to rising star, and you want to avoid eating the same meal over and over and over again. Good news, you're in the right place. That's right, LinkedIn. It's not just for top executives. It's not just for old people with heavy briefcases. It's for you, and it's the perfect place for you to start your professional story. Say you want to get a job in New York City. You've never been there before, but that's okay because you have LinkedIn on your side. You start by creating your profile. You give it love because you know it's what recruiters are looking for day and night. It's your resume that never sleeps. It's your flashing neon sign that says, hire me, for the love of all that is good in this world, hire me. Then you start making connections. Alumni working in New York? Yes. Recruiters at top companies in New York? Yes. Your mom's best friend? Yes. You start imagining whose shoes you want to walk in. You think, wow, this is a lot of deep stuff to consider. You shake yourself out of it and start searching for jobs. Whoa, that's a lot of jobs for students. Time to get down to business. You start to tailor your profile. You start applying. You feel empowered, in control, like you should be CEO. That gives you an idea. You look up all the CEOs of all the companies you want to work at. You see one of them went to your university. Then it hits you. You see a clear path from campus to career. You feel like you can see the future. You wonder if you're psychic. Should you start a hotline? No, back to plan A. You keep tailoring and connecting and applying, and before you know it, you start getting responses. First a few, then more, then an interview, and then you're hired. And that's when the real learning begins.
All right, so that video shows us the power of LinkedIn and the ability that it has to connect us with people not even just in our region, but we can connect with people across the country, across the world now. So having a LinkedIn profile or social media profile can be huge for you in terms of networking with top industry influencers. Another social media or online profile could be created with Maricopa Career Link. Maricopa Career Link is very similar to LinkedIn, but it's specific to the Maricopa community. So when you create a profile, you could network with companies in your area. You can explore job opportunities, and these employers that are posting these job opportunities on Maricopa Career Link are looking to hire specifically in Maricopa. So I would highly recommend creating a LinkedIn profile and a Maricopa Career Link profile. And just to show an example, you create your personal profile with your information, you have your profile picture, you have a personal statement describing who you are and what your goals are, what you have to offer, your educational experience, and your professional experience. So very similar to LinkedIn, you create a profile. And if you need any assistance in creating a profile, again, definitely reach out to us in Career Services. Continuing on, so just to wrap up, social media do's and don'ts. So do definitely learn the quirks of each platform. So understand which platform is for which. So again, with Twitter, it's more real time, it's more conversational. Facebook, you don't have to be as professional as LinkedIn. So just understand the different types of conversations that you have on different platforms. Do build relationships, not just contacts. Social networking and professional networking can be really beneficial to you and to the other contact. So don't just add as many contacts as possible and have a lot of contacts, but create relationships, have conversations, and you never know what doors can really open up based off these relationships that you can build. So do separate professional and personal. So if you really would like to have a professional Instagram, I would highly recommend having a personal account and a professional account. With LinkedIn, I would always keep it professional. It is a professional networking platform. With Facebook, you don't always have to be professional, but you do have to be, I would recommend being acceptable in a professional environment. You definitely don't want to post any explicit or inappropriate content that could come back to haunt you when it comes to your professional reputation. Do ask for preferred forms of contact. So when you make contacts and you make connections, something that's very polite to do is ask what their preferred form of contact is. They may prefer email, they may prefer phone. That's just going to be completely up to them. And then lastly, do make a great first impression. And that's what the social media profile is for you. It's a great first impression. It allows you to truly tailor and showcase your first impression that employers will get from you, and you can showcase your best attributes, your accomplishments, and it's all right there in an attractive format for them to see. Alright, so the don'ts of social media. Do not skimp on your profile. So if you create a LinkedIn, you don't want to just have an empty, bare-bone LinkedIn profile that when employers look at you, they recognize that they would look at it as like a bare and empty resume. They would just see the bare minimum. They wouldn't see job descriptions on there, so they can't really take much from it. So if they're considering you for a position and that's all that they see, it could ultimately hurt you in the consideration process for a position. Do not demand or expect a response. Definitely don't take it personally if you're sending out messages to these huge top industry influencers and you're not receiving anything back. Just understand that they may be getting a lot of messages throughout the day and they may not be able to respond. Something that could affect you, though, is if you send negative responses for not receiving any responses for them, and that could eventually hurt your reputation. Don't be too shy or reserved. Definitely use the social media platforms for what it's for. It's to get yourself out there and connect with different connections. It allows you to build relationships, and it's hard to build relationships with people if you aren't really utilizing the platform to the best of its capabilities. Don't be a leech. Don't just expect to make all these connections and then take from each connection that you make. Try your best to have it be a give and take. It's more like a relationship. So, creating connections for them, or if you're offering advice, or if they're offering advice, it's supposed to be more of a relationship, not something that not like a treasure hunt and you're looking for opportunities to take from them. Lastly, do not give up. Like I said, don't take it personally if you don't receive responses right away, but don't send negative responses. You don't need to send thousands of messages back until you get a response, but don't give up, meaning keep putting yourself out there even if you aren't receiving responses all the time, because if you don't get a response from one company, you may get a response from the next company. So don't be discouraged and just keep using social media platforms to the best of their abilities. Okay, so that is my presentation on the importance of social media and what it can do for you in the professional networking world of today. If you need any assistance from us in career services, definitely go to Mesa Community College's website and type in career services in the search bar, and all of our information will come up. Or you can send us an email or give us a quick phone call, and we'll try to get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you so much for attending this presentation today virtually. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. Have a great day.